Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Muslim Playlist. Welcome back to our channel, where we uncover the truth and expose double standards in the media. Today, we have an interesting story to share about Piers Morgan, a prominent television personality whose double standards have finally been exposed. Stay tuned as we reveal how he was left mortified. Recently, Piers Morgan found himself in a heated discussion with Abdullah al-Andalusi, a well-known intellectual and speaker. During the conversation, Abdullah posed a simple yet important question to Piers regarding the definition of terrorism. Let's take a look at what happened.
Considering that you have justified the operation that Israel initiated as self-defense, and that you refuse to call Israel a terrorist organization or a terrorist government, despite the fact that almost as many Palestinians, Gazans, have died under Israel's precision bombing, then as Londoners have died during the whole year of the Blitz under German bombing, which wasn't precision bombing, and yet you still say that, well, Israel isn't a terrorist organization. I think the question we should be asking is, should you be suspended? Is it responsible to have a person with your views speaking to the public when you clearly refuse to condemn that which needs to be condemned, which was worse than the London Blitz? Those that condemn with precision weapons, and the Germans didn't even have precision weapons.
Perfectly reasonable question.
Yes.
And you've asked me it on my show.
Yes.
The fact you're here and able to ask that, I think, is evidence that I'm prepared to listen to people who will look me in the eye and ask me difficult questions.
Well, you didn't know I was going to say that, but anyway, yes.
That's fine, but that's fine. You're perfectly entitled to it.
Yeah.
We believe in uncensored free speech here. Yeah. But let me ask you the question then, which I asked.
You're not answering my question, but you haven't answered it.
Well, I have. I said I don't think they're a terrorist organisation.
Despite the fact that they've killed almost as many as Germans
you've
did
asked me a question.
when they bombed London under the Blitz for 1 year with non-precision bombs.
I have given you an unequivocal answer. Now let me ask you if you can give me one.
Yes.
Do you believe Hamas are a terror organisation?
Okay, and I'd like to ask you, what does that mean?
Just answer my question.
Well, I need clarification.
Well, this country has prescribed them as a terror group. Do you think they are?
Are you the British government?
No, I'm asking you what you think.
Okay, so I want a clarification.
I gave you a simple, straight answer.
What does it mean?
No, you tell me.
I don't know. You're asking me a question. You asked the question.
You don't think they are a terror group?
No, I want your definition of what is a terror group?
An act that commits acts of terror, a group that commits terror attacks, as they did on October the 7th.
So one that commits terror attack. All right, fine. So define terror.
Do you want to answer the question or not?
I do, but I just want clarification.
No. We all know what terrorism is.
Please, no. We're going to go somewhere with this. We're going to go somewhere with this, right?
Well, are you going to answer the question?
Yes. Once I get your definition, what's a terror attack?
The definition is as is laid down in international law.
Which
is?
It's
committing an act of terror.
Which is
terrorism.
Are you asking questions you don't know the definition of?
Well, why don't you tell me what you think it is?
I don't know. You're asking the question.
You've no idea what terrorism is.
No, I want you to answer your question.
I would say massacring 1,200 people on October the 7th in the way Hamas did is an act of terror. Do you agree?
So killing civilians is an act of terror?
No, that's not what I said.
So then killing civilians is not an act of terror?
On that scale is terrorism.
So killing civilians is not an act of terror?
You're not going to answer. Let me bring
I want your definition.
No.
I want you to be consistent.
We have a third guest.
As we can see, when asked about whether killing civilians constitutes an act of terror, Piers Morgan shockingly responded with a no. This response highlights a clear double standard within his mindset, which often finds its way into his discussions and debates on various topics. This incident is just one example of Piers Morgan's double standards. On one hand, when another guest in his show explains how homosexuality is sinful in Christianity and in Judaism, he simply agrees what guest point of view is. But when it comes to Islam, he simply interrupts. Whenever a guest is explaining that it's also sinful in Islam, but Piers interrupts by saying women are oppressed in Islam, which is obviously not true. Shortly after this encounter, the internet exploded with criticism aimed at Piers Morgan. People from all walks of life questioned his integrity and called out his inconsistent stance regarding terrorism. This wave of public scrutiny left Piers Morgan embarrassed and forced him to face the consequences of his double standards. Let's take a look at some of the reactions from social media to get a better understanding of the impact this incident had on Piers Morgan.
What would you do if one of your kids, they're all very young, you've no idea, but if one of your kids turned out to be gay and wanted to get married, would you be tough enough as that to say you can't do that?
I mean, I would oppose that from so religion. So again, marriage exists in a few different
religious.
Yeah, I mean, religious. So marriage exists in a couple of different iterations. One is religious marriage, which is kind of what I care about, and then there is governmental sanctioned marriage, which is a public policy question.
Right.
When it comes to religious marriage, no, I'm not in favor of my religion sanctifying same-sex couples. Specifically because, again, my religion propagates the idea that man, woman, and child is the model for families.
Let's take a break. I want to come back and talk to you about the big question for Republicans. Trump v. DeSantis. What's going to happen? Who's going to win? Is Biden going to run again? And does age matter?
And I believe,
just to clarify, what is your view of homosexuality?
I believe homosexuality is a sin.
A sin, it's wrong. So when gay people come to your practice, do you treat them?
Oh, of course.
Why?
Because I treat all my patients with kindness and without
Do you tell them you think what they do is a sin?
What an absurd thing to say.
Why wouldn't you
Why would I say that? Why would I say that? Because they don't come.
Why don't you try going back to your surgery tomorrow?
They don't come to me.
Why don't you go to surgery tomorrow and say, before we go any further to your patients, I want you to know what I think. I think that I agree with the guy who said
do you understand
this country is full of LGBT filth, feminist filth.
Understand?
I don't think Hamas are a terror group. I don't think what they did on October the 7th was a terror attack. And by the way, do you want me now to treat you?
Do you understand what?
I don't understand any of that.
Professional integrity is.
You think that's professional integrity?
No, I think professional integrity is treating the people I treat with respect and with kindness.
How do I know you
fairness. Well, they know I do.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
Do they know you think they're filth?
I didn't say that they're filth.
You agreed with what he said?
I didn't agree with what he said.
You said, I agree.
No, I agree.
I can play the tape back if you like.
I agree with the fact that the Muslim world should have the Islamic system. Yeah, I didn't say I agree with it. I don't use the word. Why do so many women become Muslim these days? Why do
Because they
so
want to
many
be
women in the
oppressed.
West?
Is that what you're going to tell me?
No. Why do so many
Because they want to be oppressed?
Women in the world become Muslim these days?
A quick summary of the Piers Morgan and Abdul Wahid debate from last night.
What we want is a military intervention from Muslim armies to rescue a beleaguered people. You yourself called for military intervention in Ukraine by NATO.
Abdul Wahid makes a very simple point. The situation in Gaza right now needs to be solved by intervention of the Muslim armies, similar to what the West has done in Ukraine. Helped them, aided them, funded them against Russia.
People of Gaza have nobody helping them.
Well, they do. They have Hamas. They have a terror.
Have nobody helping
them. Hang on. They have a terrorist organisation called Hamas.
They have nobody helping
them. They've got 30,000 terrorists.
They have lined up against them the murderous Israeli Defence Force. They have lined up against them the United States, who this week, today in the Washington Post, it was said that the white phosphorus that's being used by the IDF is supplied by them. They have lined up against them the Britain and the EU. They have lined up against them the Arab rulers in the region.
This point that Piers is trying to make that, the people of Gaza actually have somebody to help them. No, they don't. Just like Abdul Wahid said, the IDF and the West and even the Arab rulers themselves are all against Gaza. They are on their own, they have nobody. This is the whole point as to why the Muslim armies need to intervene on their side and not against them.
I do not subscribe to the view it's genocide.
Well, that is the understatement of the century.
Possibly, but I think they have a right to defend themselves against a terror group who have gone on record in the last 2 weeks as saying they want to do what happened on October the 7th again and again.
Children of Gaza.
I understand. It's horrific. It's horrific.
It's beyond horrific.
Then, of course, Piers being Piers, always trying to understate the horrific magnitude of what is actually happening in Palestine.
Will you let me answer fully?
Yes.
I will be frank. I'll be as concise as I can be. But if you give me the courtesy of letting me answer fully.
Okay.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
I will defend the right of the Palestinians to resist an occupation. When you look at that...
It's not resistance.
Reoccurring theme that you will find in this debate, which is actually a one-sided discussion, where Piers does not even allow Abdul Wahid to speak. He doesn't allow him to respond. Even after saying that, yes, I will allow you to respond, 7 seconds he gets. 7 seconds that he's allowed to respond. I think what it really shows is that you're too cowardly to allow Abdul Wahid to respond, and so you keep cutting him off time and time again because you actually fear the ideas that he's going to come with.
Do you think what happened that day was a terrorist attack?
When people look...
Do you?
You know, the word terrorism has become so politicised.
Actually, not really.
No, the word
you can
terrorism,
be deeply sympathetic to the plight of Palestinian civilians, which I am, by the way, and have expressed many times. What you can't do is be weaselly mouthed about what happened on October the 7th.
I asked you to let me
finish. That was
finish.
a grotesque
I
terror
will ask
attack.
you to finish.
Yeah, but you're equivocating about it being a terror
I'm
attack.
not. The word terrorism, by the way, in India last month.
We're going to talk about India. Talk about what's
The
happened
word
here.
terrorism in India. People who supported the Australian cricket team have been arrested under terrorist offences. In the West Bank, people who are have been told, if you reveal what happened in the prisons, you will be arrested on terrorist charges.
Do you think what happened on October the 7th was a terror attack?
It's a
Did
resistance.
you say no?
It's a resistance.
What is happening on the ground is a resistance to an occupation. The certain claims that Piers makes. Who is the source of this information? Is it the Zionist side which are making these claims? The same side that said that the people of Gaza attacked their own hospital. The same side that talked about the 40 babies, which turned out to be a complete lie. The same side that only very recently was exposed for showing that apparently they captured so-called Hamas fighters when accidentally 2 videos were leaked where the IDF is forcing normal civilians to walk up and down with a gun. Are you really then going to trust these same liars as your source of information?
Do these patients know your views?
I have said to you...
Do they know your views?
I don't talk to my patients about my views in a 10-minute consultation, do I? Nobody does that. It's just a foolish question, isn't it? That's a foolish question.
Why would a GP talk to his own patients about his political views? What a stupid question.
So do you condemn what happened on October the 7th? Do you think what they did on October the 7th was a terror attack? Do you believe in equal rights for gay people? What is your view of homosexuality? So when gay people come to your practice, do you treat them? Do you want Sharia law here? Would you like Sharia law here? Would you like Sharia law in this country? Would you like it in this country? Who pays your salary?
The whole interview is not letting Abdul Wahid talk and continuously trying to attack his character, his personal life. Never once did Piers try to engage on an intellectual level, on a thoughts level, on an idea for idea level. Abdul Wahid is showing maturity, he's showing calmness, he's discussing the point at hand, and Piers responds by personally attacking Abdul Wahid's character.
If they just attacked IDF...
Yeah, I've asked many times what is proportionate,
so do you
right?
accept that? So you're saying just to attack the IDF would have been acceptable?
I personally do not believe...
Answer that.
I'm answering
just
this.
To
Let me
attack
answer
the
your
IDF
question.
Acceptable?
I'm going to say this.
We might be able to agree.
I think the strategy at the moment...
Can we answer
Let me answer the question.
If they had agreed...
Let me answer the question. Let me answer the question.
Yes or no? If they had just attacked military targets, acceptable?
My view of what they're doing is I don't think it's going to work.
This is the question which stumped Piers badly. If it was just the IDF who were attacked, would that be okay? And guess what? He can't answer it. Because in reality, it's not that he cares for any innocents being unalived. It's that deep down, he does not believe that the occupying people should be fought against.
In May 2023, Luqman Hakim, who's a prominent member of your organisation, called for an end to the secular orders.
Nice one, Piers, for that mention. Next time you mention my name, can you at least mention my @? Because, man's trying to get a few more followers here, you know what I mean?
Do you want Sharia law here? I don't want this country to live under Sharia law.
It's not talking about this. I'm talking about the Middle East.
Yeah, but you suggested you wanted it to be under Sharia law here.
You suggested...
Do you or not?
You
do you or not? Would you like Sharia law here? Would you like Sharia law in this country? Would you like it in this country?
Abdul Wahid clearly mentioned that we want Khilafah, we want the Islamic system in the Muslim world, in the Middle East. Why does Piers keep going back to, do you want it in this country? Do you want it in this country? He gave the answer that he wants to establish the Islamic system in the Muslim world. Why are you so adamant to continue asking him a question that he's already answered just to suit your own narrative? Just to try and push some kind of agenda?
What? What's funny?
What's funny is your approach of question.
Why? Just answer the question.
When Abdul Wahid starts laughing, Piers just keeps getting more frustrated. And if you look from the very beginning of the debate till the very end, he's just getting more and more frustrated, and Abdul Wahid is actually getting more and more relaxed and calmer. And this actually frustrates Piers even more.
Why do so many women become Muslim these days? Why do
Because they
so
want to
many
be
women in the
oppressed.
West?
Is that what you're going to tell me?
No. Why do so many Muslims...
Because they want to be oppressed?
Because they want to be oppressed. Wallahi, this has exposed Piers Morgan's Islamophobia. It has exposed his hatred for Islam. And he got frustrated to such a point that he ended up exposing himself.
You've been enlightening with your responses. You may not realise quite how enlightening, but you might find out when you see the reaction.
Now, I don't want to read into this too much, but was that a threat? Are you threatening your guest? Because it sounded like a bit of a threat to me. All in all, alhamdulillah, I think it showed Abdul Wahid's integrity, his calmness, his extreme focus on the points at hand. and his ability to showcase the views of Islam and Muslims without compromise. And that Gaza does need military intervention from the professional armies of the Muslim world. Mr. Morgan here went from Piers Uncensored to Piers Unravelled. And just a word of advice from myself. When you bring a guest on, allow them to speak.
In conclusion, Piers Morgan's double standards were undeniably exposed in this incident. His inability to acknowledge the widely accepted definition of terrorism has led to public mortification and further tarnished his reputation. It's crucial for public figures like Piers to reflect upon their own biases and ensure consistency in their beliefs and statements. Thank you for joining us today as we discussed how Piers Morgan's double standards got exposed, leaving him mortified. Be sure to leave your thoughts and comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Until next time, stay informed and always question the narrative.